Hi, I'm Chris, and this happy little guy is Teddy, and together we are Our Time to RV. A few years ago, we downsized from a 3-slide, 35-foot fifth wheel to a 20-foot slide-in truck camper, and now have the flexibility to travel any place our 2016 Dodge Ram 3500 dually can take us. We love the outdoors and tend to gravitate to the state parks, national parks, Corps of Engineer locations, and boondocking sites, but do occasionally visit the private parks. We hope you enjoy the content. If so, please like and subscribe to our channel, then leave a comment telling us what you think. Thanks for watching. Like the Pima Air and Space Museum I visited and showed you in a recent episode, the Titan Missile Silo Tour is a must for me to see again. Here I'm waiting for the tour to start. This is fascinating stuff, and I'm going to give you a glimpse of what it's all about. Here we've just ascended 55 steps to the 4th security checkpoint for a crew rotation. Once they pass the checks, inside is considered hardened and safe from a near-nuclear blast. The door itself weighs 6,000 pounds and is made of concrete and steel, but relatively easy to open and close. We're entering the command center where the crew will do much of their 12-hour shift. It was very secure with its rotary dial phones, push-button panels, and computer ticker tapes. But due to lack of connectivity to the outside world, it couldn't be hacked, a challenge for current-day systems.
Do is listen to me ramble for a bit, and at the end we'll go through a simulation launch where you two get to turn those keys. Are you guys up for that?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Now this is a 3-level building suspended on 8 massive shock isolating springs. We can see one of the springs right over here. There's another one behind you folks right over there. But like I said, there are 8 of them surrounding us, keeping this place still in the event of a nuclear attack or even an earthquake. Now, we wouldn't even see a ripple in our coffee. But like I said, there are...
Hotel, 5, 2, 5, 1,
All right then, you guys all got that, right? Super clear? Alright, it's definitely not like the audio we have today, but luckily our 4-man crew was highly trained in listening for exactly that. But instead of the 17 characters you guys just heard, it would have been 41, and like I said, our commanders would have to copy down each and every single one. Now, when they finish copying it down, they would then switch their binders. If you guys will switch your binders for me. Awesome, Commander, I'm going to have you switch that. Perfect, and that was to confirm that they both heard and wrote down the same thing. Once our commanders can agree that they both heard and wrote down the same thing, which should be nothing, commanders, do you guys agree?
Yes.
Awesome. They would then proceed to their emergency war order safe and or their Evo safe, which is that red safe right behind you guys over there. Now on it, we can see that there are 2 padlocks. These padlocks belong to our officers on command. When their shift was up, they would take the locks off and the new officers would put theirs on. When they got this job, these padlocks were issued to them. They're told in a combination that nobody else would know and to keep them on them at all times, even when they were sleeping. But in this case, we're not going to take those locks off because we need to figure out what this coded message says. And luckily in there, we have what they would have called cookies, also known as pre-written messages. Now these are going to be our pre-written messages. How was our crew going to know which one was the correct one? Well, the first 2 characters in the corner would correspond with the first 2 characters that would came over that message. Our crew would then have to pick the correct one. We'll say it was Delta Foxtrot. They would then take this, crack it open, and pull out, surprise, surprise, more decoding. Now, this can be a numerous of things. This could just be a weather update. If you were having some nasty weather on topside, this could have been practice or it could have been a real-life launch order. In this case, we're going to say it was a real-life launch order. So out of that emergency war order safe, we're also going to take out our launch keys and place them in the commander's consoles. But before we can do anything with those, we need to go back into the binder and launch. So both of you are going to turn your keys clockwise or to the right and hold it there for 5 seconds. Are you guys ready? Perfect. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
You can be a little more ready than that. We're about to launch a missile. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do this. Ready? 3, 2, 1, launch. All right, keep holding that key there. Awesome. Keep holding it. That light is now on. You guys can sit back and relax now as much as you can anyways because you guys just fired a missile. And the only reason we'd be doing that is if the Soviet Union launched on us first. We were not going to be launching these first. We were here for deterrence. So this is probably around the time the crew sat back and really contemplated on what they just did and what's about to come. So that's what we're going to do, but shortly we are going to hear those silo doors open up. Till then, it's a long, dreadful, quiet 58 seconds. Alright, our silo doors have now opened up. Here in about 12 to 15 seconds, we're going to hear that klaxon alarm. And you guys should all be seeing those lights coming up here now. And liftoff. Now, I do have to ask, does it feel like we just launched a missile? No, so actually that was pretty close to what it would have felt like and or sounded like. These shock isolating springs and those blast lock doors, which have done such a great job of that third job, we wouldn't have felt anything, we wouldn't have heard anything. Now, there was no tracking on this missile. There was no way to know if it ever made it to its designated target, but we are for sure not going to take a look-see out of those blast lock doors to see if it left or not. Absolutely not. Now, there was also no self-destruct. Once those keys were turned, there was no going back. The president himself came running in here yelling, "Stop, stop everything." The only two words we had for him was, "Sorry, sir." Now, the crew had a decision to make. They had 24 days worth of air down here and 30 days worth of food and a rendezvous point 20 miles up into a mountain where they wouldn't know if anyone was waiting for them. Now, they did have an emergency exit, which also doubled as the air shaft, which is in the maintenance room. Sadly, that was not hardened. It was soft, so it was likely destroying the attack anyways. So at the end of the day, it wasn't really a decision at all. But we had people down here for 20 plus years not knowing if they would ever have to make those calls, and luckily, that day never came.
Here we've just left the command center and are heading down a tunnel to where the Titan missile is located. Being on the far side of the locked door in the command center, much of this area is likely to have been destroyed during a missile launch. The Titan missile stands 105 feet high. Per disarmament agreements with the Soviet Union at the time, the opening to the silo is secured half closed with concrete and half with a window. This allows current-day Russian aircraft and satellites to look inside the silo to make sure it's not being re-equipped for use. In its current form, this allows the U.S. to use the installation for tours and educational purposes.
It's about 16 feet wide and 4 tall. Yeah, very big. That's not far.
Heat shield is compromised and wouldn't be able to protect a warhead that would go inside. And then our silo doors are concreted halfway shut. We're not going to shoot a missile out a halfway closed door. That'd be bad for everyone in here. That was another good way to ensure the Soviets we were not going to launch this. And on the other side of those concreted doors is angled glass. Although that's a really cool way to get a picture of our Titan II missile, it wasn't actually meant for us. It is meant for the Soviet Union, not Russia's satellite, that comes by here once in a while taking pictures of that missile. So if you guys are on top side, you feel free to wave up because you might be near picture taken.
I got this segment of video from up top of the silo looking back through the aforementioned glass.
Whoa! Other man.
You'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Okay.
I decided to go out for another hike today, as opposed to going up to the observatory. Earlier today it was so overcast, excuse me, and windy. I didn't know how it was going to be, so I had some other things to do around the camper. There's some cooking I had to do, so I just decided to rearrange my schedule and flip-flop things, and so I'm back out on the trail today. So the objective today, I don't necessarily have a specific objective other than to get out. I want to head in the direction of Tucson Mountain Park, which was the general direction I started out in yesterday. But this time I'm going to commit to going a little further in towards the park and maybe up on some of those peaks over there. We'll see. Here's our first turn. I'm going to commit to going in the direction of some of the ridges over there. You can see the nature of the trail here is quite a bit different than what I just got off of. Still well worn in. Here we go. This is kind of the what a lot of the trails are like here. Sandy, well worn in, but occasionally run across some that are quite rocky. And I know up on the mountain over there, the ridge over there, it's going to get like that. That's okay. Here's an area of the 2-track here that ATVs travel. It's not easy walking on this. These are ankle turners here, so you got to pay attention. But it's heading in a direction that I want to go, so we're going to let it take us there. Well, I'm at a little bit of a crossroads here. Whether or not I follow this 2-track up on the hillside there, or make the left and head over into the Tucson Mountain Park, Pima County, and head up between this ridge here. And I think that's what I'm going to wind up doing. I know where that goes. I don't recall where this goes. So, besides that, I like this path here. Walking the 2-track there with those ankle turners wasn't fun. No big deal, but this is an easier trail, and I think it's going to be a little bit more scenic too. So we've come to an intersection here, and as it indicated, I think we're going to head up this way here into this little ridge area and follow Prospector's Trail. This is the view on the far side of the peak. And for today, I'm not going to go any further. I'm about 2.5 miles in, 2.25. I'll check it here. And I know to get out to the far end of that trail is probably another 1.75 miles. As I turn around and span the horizon here, RV parks and Tucson Estates is down that general direction there. That's the RV park there. I don't know how much is going to come out with the wind having picked up quite a bit. We'll do our best to edit it out or mute it to the extent we can. I'm going to check my All Trails app just to see where I'm actually at here and to see what distance I got in. As indicated, here I'm opening my iPhone and then going to my All Trails app and zooming in, and it's telling me that I'm a little more than 2 miles into my hike, just as I expected. And I'll go back a different direction, but I suspect it's going to be pretty close to the same going back. About a 1/2 mile into my return trip on Prospector's Trail. Again, I'm heading down a different return path. It's actually going to keep me in the county park for most of the way back. as opposed to the way I came up, which was down that 2-track ankle turner. So I'm not sure. I suspect that the distance should be pretty close, but I won't know until I get there. But it's a nice day. The wind has picked up. It makes it comfortable, and it's gotten some cloud cover back again as well too. So hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are. I know I'm enjoying mine. Thanks for watching. We're probably a little more than a mile from being back at the RV. Nice and flat here. Compressed sand, easy to walk on in this segment here. Having some warm temperatures. 78 or 79 for a high. But with a little bit of haze, overcast, and a breeze, it is super comfortable. Super comfortable. Check out this wash here. Man, that thing's pretty deep. If this thing ever fills up, it's a massive amount of water. By the way, an update on 2 things. For those who've been following along since the beginning. First, I'm working on some improvements to equipment. Right now I've had to use my iPhone. I first started out, I had an action camera, and after the first couple days of filming, found that there was a scratch on the lens. I really didn't expect the lens to be acrylic, but I thought I'd try to buff it out anyways. I have some plastic, or I actually have some product, I should say, that would allow me to get the scratch out if it were acrylic. Unfortunately, it's not. So, but since it was somewhat destroyed, couldn't do any harm to it. So, and then the second thing is cutting down on wind noise. I can only edit so much out. I did purchase an inexpensive one, kind of as a bridge, until I get all my other pieces of equipment in place, and then figure out what a more comprehensive strategy would be for a solution. Unfortunately, it didn't work at all. So I'm having to return that. So now I'm back to evaluating what my next steps are, but I am working on both of those. I appreciate your patience. And again, thanks for continuing to watch. There's all kinds of interesting stuff out here. And here's one. I don't know what that is. Obviously, it's intended to look like a burial plot. I don't know that it really is or not. But anyways, you find this kind of stuff out here. I'd assumed that when I saw it here 2 or 3 years ago that it was for an animal. But who knows with the skull there. Of course, it's a fake skull that was since added. Wasn't here last time. So my Ultros app says I did 4.66 miles. Hopefully the wind didn't block all that out. 4.66 miles, not bad for a warm-up.